What's going on, guys? Faraz Khan here, and today I'm going to be covering some of the most effective exercises to build an extremely strong core that's not only going to have you looking good, but also going to have you performing your absolute best. Having a strong core is extremely crucial for all aspects of athletic performance. A strong core is going to help you with your sprinting, jumping, pushing, pulling, throwing, cutting, kicking. Literally every single action is going to be improved with a stronger core. And it's going to help you perform more efficient and powerful movement patterns, as well as improve your energy transfer from the lower to upper body and vice versa. So without further ado, let's get into these exercises. So the first set of exercises I'm gonna show you are gonna help to improve the stabilization of our trunk. Now, one thing we need to understand is that our core is not just right here. It's all around. And you wanna include exercises that prevent movement of the trunk and enhance the stiffness and stability. That way, it will provide us with a great platform that's gonna enhance our torque production from the lower and upper extremities, which is going to be very beneficial when it comes to improving our athletic movements. All right, guys, so the very first movement that I wanna show you is the rollout. You can do this with a small bar, you can do it with a larger barbell, you can even do it with an ab wheel. I'm even gonna show you a bodyweight variation if you have no equipment whatsoever. Now, why this exercise is so great is because the goal here is to prevent the extension of the spine. And as we're doing that, it's really gonna hit those muscles in the front as well as the muscles along the spine. So how you're gonna do this exercise is you wanna start with your back a little hollowed out, all right? So you don't wanna have that arch right here. You don't wanna do any of that. You wanna actually round up a little bit, and then you're going to come out just as far as you can, preventing that extension of the back. And then once you come out as far as you can to the point where you feel like you're not gonna fall on your face, you just roll right back in, okay? So that was about a half rep. I'm gonna go ahead and do a full rep all the way down. And of course, you don't wanna put your face all the way to the floor, but just as far down as possible. You can even see me shake. That's how difficult this movement is. But that's one way you can do it. Most of you are gonna need to start off of your knees. Once you get advanced with this, you're gonna be able to do it off of your feet. And the same mechanics are in place. You wanna make sure you're preventing the extension of your upper back. Come down as far as you can. And then pull back up. Much more difficult, but again, an incredible exercise to prevent that extension of the trunk. Now, here's a variation that you can do if you have no equipment whatsoever. So you're gonna start in push-up position, and this is called a reverse walkout. So you're literally just going to walk out while maintaining that nice flat back. Come down as far as you can, and then you're gonna walk back up to push-up position. So it literally hits the muscle in the same way. And in my opinion, this is even tougher because it requires a lot more coordination and control. Whew, tough, but either variation, whether you're doing the body weight or with the barbell or the roller, I like to go for about 3 sets of 5 to 8 repetitions. The next exercise that I absolutely love is the suitcase carry. Now, there's a ton of different variations and ways that you can do this. I personally like using a barbell because it's gonna challenge you a lot more than using a kettlebell, for example. Just because of the way the weight is distributed, it's gonna have you working even harder from the front and the back. First off, you don't even need tons of weight for this. If it's the first time you're doing it, it's gonna be difficult. But you're gonna take a barbell, you're gonna just have it set up at about your hand height, just below your pocket. I'm gonna grab it in the middle, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna lift up and take a step to the side. Now I'm just gonna hold it, and I'm resisting that weight pulling me down. I'm resisting that flexion of the trunk. And you can even see me shake right here, my obliques, transverse abdominis, everything is working extremely hard right here. And I'm gonna go for about 20 seconds. That's a great challenge in its own. And once you get good with this, you can start adding in other elements like marches. This takes the game to an entire new level. And if you don't want to use a barbell or don't have access to one, you can also use a kettlebell or a dumbbell. If you don't have weights whatsoever, then you can get creative and just hold something heavy to the side, as long as it provides you with enough stimulus to where you have to prevent that lateral flexion of the trunk. Then it's still gonna work the stabilization in a wonderful way. Next exercise I wanna show you is one of my all-time favorites, and it's extremely effective. It's more dynamic, and it's gonna help you with controlling and causing movement with some rotation. And this is also very important to include those dynamic movements along with the stabilization. That way we can be sure that we can see some strength transfers from the weight room into our sport. So the exercise I'm gonna be doing is a Russian twist with the ball throw. Now I'm sure you might know a Russian twist. That's where you're just with your feet up, your back nice and straight, and you're twisting to the side. The ball throw is gonna add an entire new element into it, because just to throw and catch the ball, your core has to perform a co-contraction, and you have to control that, because if you can't control it, it's gonna come down, smash your face, smash your body, and you're gonna be knocked off balance. I'm gonna start in my regular position, my feet up, back nice and straight, and I'm gonna throw this, and just to catch that, I'm bracing extremely hard right here. I wanna make sure that my feet don't drop, and then I'm going to turn to one side for that rotation, back to the center, throw and catch, and then I'm gonna do this for reps. So when I do this for reps, I typically like to count the throws, and I try to go for about 12 throws. That way it gives me an even number on both sides. And the heavier you go and the higher you throw it, then the harder it's going to be. So let me do a couple reps where I'm throwing it hard. So I have to work so much harder as all that mass is coming down and I'm trying to predict. Whew. So this next exercise, we're also gonna focus on that rotation. We're gonna be causing and controlling this movement. So this next one is a landmine rotation. So I got that landmine attachment over there. If you don't have the landmine attachment, you can totally just put a landmine in the corner or something like that. So what I'm gonna be doing is you're gonna load it up just lightly. You don't need to be too heavy because we wanna be very quick and dynamic with this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to press it up, and then I'm going to actually rotate it to the side, letting my hips rotate as well. And then using the power from my hips, it's going to get into my core, and I'm also gonna use my arms to rotate it to the opposite side. So my hips are actually doing a lot of the work, but my core is what's controlling and causing all that movement. If I had no control, then it's just gonna fall so fast down to the floor. And I'd like to do this one for about 3 sets of 6 to even 8 per side. So it's a tough one, but a great one. This next exercise is called the rolling V-up. Another one of my favorites, very challenging, also very effective. It's gonna promote some flexion of the spine, and we're gonna utilize our entire trunk. Every single muscle of the core is getting used right here. So you wanna start by laying on your back. You're gonna have your hands over your head and your legs up, and we're going to simply touch our hands to our toes. Now we're going to roll without using your hips, your arms, or your shoulders. You're going to roll over, and then another V-up, and then roll back, and again. So the roll is actually the hardest part, because you don't want to roll like this. You see how my arm is touching the ground? You see how my knees start touching? That's going to be cheating if your arms touch the ground like that. All right, so the roll itself, everything is coming from right here, utilizing that trunk. See, I even cheated right there by putting that down. So the slower you go, the tougher it's gonna be, because then you're not utilizing any momentum. Whew, a tough exercise. I like to do an even number of rolls per side. So if I'm counting the rolls, I might go something like 6 to 8 rolls, and then the V-ups will just come in between. And finally, the last exercise that I want to share with you guys is the elevated kettlebell pull through. This is an incredible exercise. Not only does it include anti-extension of the trunk, but also anti-rotation, which is gonna have every single thing working. And on top of that, we have an entire new element of being able to move some weight while we're doing it. So you're gonna need some sort of elevation. I'm just using a bench right here. I'm going to get my feet up on that bench. The broader your feet, then the easier the exercise. You don't want your hips up. You wanna be nice and straight right there. I'm gonna move this back a little bit. And now from this position, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pull the kettlebell to one side, and I wanna try to resist as much rotation as possible. I don't wanna rotate like that, and I don't wanna arch my back. So that's why it's anti-rotation, anti-extension. When you drag the kettlebell or drag the weight, it's more friction, which makes it even tougher. Super challenging exercise, and of course, the heavier the weight you use, then the more challenging it's going to be. And I like to do 3 sets of 10 pulls per side. Well, there you have it, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. Go ahead and share this with everybody else who you think can benefit. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe so you do not miss any of my future content. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys soon.